Manu Needhi Cholan. Thiruvarur is one of the most important among the holy places of Saivism, second only to Thillai. This is the place on the streets of which Lord Shiva himself walked up and down in midnight to help his friend Sundarar. Hence, Sekidar, choosing Thiruvarur as the capital location for his epic, in which Sundarar is said to be the hero, is quite understandable. But then, why did he introduce the episode of Manu Needhi Cholan, which is not in Sundarar's Thiruthonda Thogai, the original? This query is answered by Sekidar himself through the judgment given by the king Manu Needhi Cholan at the end of the episode. Thiruvarur was one of the 5 capitals used by Chola kings. There lived a Chola king, Manu Needhi Cholan, who was unfailingly following the paths prescribed in Manu Needhi, a book on dispensation of justice, written by the great legislator saint Manu. Manu Needhi Cholan was a fair and compassionate king to all living beings. Mannil Vazhthir Mannuyirkkellam Kannum Aviyum Aam Perum Kavalan. He had a son named Vidhividangan. He was also pretty pious and quite accomplished in holy scriptures as well as martial arts. Deiva Kalaibala Tirunda Odiyavan. One day, as is customary with such young princes, he was charioteering on the royal road of Thiruvarur. Ahead and behind him were other chariots. The procession went on till it was interrupted by a baby calf that, like a bolt from the blue, suddenly ran into the wheels of the prince's chariot and was run over. Ambunitravin Kandru or Abayathin Udubohi Sembunin Terkal Meedu Visayinal Sellapatte. The worried prince got down and hurried to the priest for expiating the sin. Meanwhile, the grief-stricken mother cow ran to the palace gate and rung the big bell Araichi Mani with its horns to draw the attention of the king. Porkoil Vail Ponnani Maniyai Chendru Kotinal Pudaitadu. The ministers apprised the king of the unfortunate accident. Here is one of the best narrations of Sekidar to display the tact of the ministers. Your son, Nin Pudalvan, was at the deck of the chariot with bells, Mani Nedunthir, and charioteering at a controlled speed, Alavil Pongal, on the royal road along with others. The calf suddenly ran into the rear wheel of the chariot and was run over. The king asked for the remedy. The minister suggested some rituals prescribed by the holy Brahmins for those who had killed the cows. Kovadai Seidarku Marai Andanargal Viditha Murai Valiniruttal Aram Endrar. That was not acceptable to the king. He drew their attention to the cardinal duty of a king, namely protecting all his subjects, including animals, from the harm that could be inflicted on them by himself, by his relatives, by his enemies, by thieves, and by other living beings. Idayuru, Tannal, Tan Parisanathal, Unamigu Pahithirathal, Kalvaral, Uyirthammal, Anabayam Aindum. He was upset with them that they were looking at the problem only from legal and personal points of view and not from the point of view of justice to all. He asked them, how could these remedial rituals bring solace to the grief-stricken cow? He finally came out with his own judgment that he, the father, should suffer the same misery as the mother cow of the dead calf was suffering. Idu Tanadur Peridar Yanum Tanguvade Dharmam. He ordered that the prince be taken to the same road and place and be run over by the same chariot. Seeing the reluctance of the ministers and the commanders around, and one of them even killing himself, he himself did the job to the shock and surprise of his subordinates and subjects. But then, this drastic action of the king was approved by those in heaven with a showering of flowers on him. Vidhividanga Peruman, the lord of Thiruvarur, appeared with his consort Umayammai mounted on the divine bull and gave darshan. This is not all. At that moment, all the 3 who were dead, the calf, the prince, and the minister, got their lives back and stood up. Sekidar concludes the episode saying, if the Supreme Being itself decides, is there anything that cannot be done? முன்னவனே முன்னின்றால் முடியாத பொருள் உளதோ